You were on your way home when you died. It was a car accident. Nothing particularly remarkable, but fatal nonetheless. You left behind a wife and 2 children. It was a painless death. The EMTs tried their best to save you, but to no avail. Your body was so utterly shattered, you were better off, trust me. And that's when you met me. What happened? You asked. Where am I? You died, I said, matter-of-factly. No point in mincing words. There was a truck and it was skidding. Yep. I died? Yep. But don't feel bad about it. Everyone dies, I said. You looked around. There was nothingness. Just you and me. What is this place, you asked? Is this the afterlife? More or less. Are you a god? Yep, I replied. I'm God. My kids, my wife. What about them? Will they be all right? That's what I like to see, I said. You just died and your main concern is for your family. That's good stuff right there. You looked at me with fascination. To you, I didn't look like God. I just looked like some man, or possibly a woman. Some vague authority figure, maybe. More of a grammar school teacher than the Almighty. Don't worry, I said. They'll be fine. Your kids will remember you as perfect in every way. They didn't have time to grow contempt for you. Your wife will cry on the outside, but will be secretly relieved. To be fair, your marriage was falling apart. If it's any consolation, she'll feel very guilty for feeling relieved. Oh, you said. So what happens now? Do I go to heaven or hell or something? Neither, I said. You'll be reincarnated. Ah, so the Hindus were right. All religions are right in their own way, I said. Walk with me. You followed along as we strode through the void. Where are we going? Nowhere in particular. It's just nice to walk while we talk. So what's the point then? When I get reborn, I'll just be a blank slate, right? A baby? So all my experiences and everything I did in this life won't matter? Not so, I said. You have within you all the knowledge and experiences of all your past lives. You just don't remember them right now. I stopped walking and took you by the shoulders. Your soul is more magnificent, beautiful, and gigantic than you could possibly imagine. A human mind can only contain a tiny fraction of what you are. It's like sticking your finger in a glass of water to see if it's hot or cold. You put a tiny part of yourself into the vessel, and when you bring it back out, you've gained all the experiences it had. You've been in a human for the last 48 years, so you haven't stretched out yet and felt the rest of your immense consciousness. If we hung out here for long enough, you'd start remembering everything. But there's no point to doing that between each life. How many times have I been reincarnated then? Oh, lots. Lots and lots. And into lots of different lives, I said. This time around, you'll be a Chinese peasant girl in 540 AD. Wait, what? You stammered. You're sending me back in time? Well, I guess technically. Time as you know it only exists in your universe. Things are different where I come from. Where you come from? Oh, sure. I come from somewhere else. And there are others like me. I know you'll want to know what it's like there, but honestly you wouldn't understand. No, you said, a little let down. But wait, if I get reincarnated to other places in time, I could have interacted with myself at some point. Sure, happens all the time. And with both lives only aware of their own lifespan, you don't even know what's happening. So what's the point of it all? Seriously? I asked. Seriously? You're asking me for the meaning of life? Isn't that a little stereotypical? Well, it's a reasonable question, you persisted. I looked you in the eye. The meaning of life, the reason I made this whole universe, is for you to mature. You mean mankind? You want us to mature? Nope. Just you. I made this whole universe for you. With each new life, you grow and mature and become a larger and greater intellect. Just me? What about everyone else? There is no one else. In this universe, there's just you and me. You stared blankly at me. But all the people on Earth. All you. Different incarnations of you. Wait, I'm everyone? Now you're getting it, I said with a congratulatory slap on the back. I'm every human being who ever lived? Or who will ever live, yes. I'm Abraham Lincoln? And you're John Wilkes Booth too. I'm Hitler, you said appalled? And you're the millions he killed. I'm Jesus? And you're everyone who followed him. You fell silent. Every time you victimize someone, I said, you are victimizing yourself. Every act of kindness you've done to yourself. Every happy and sad moment ever experienced by any human was, or will be, experienced by you. You thought for a long time. Why? Why do all this? Because someday you'll become like me. Because that's what you are. You're one of my kind. You're my child. Whoa, you said, incredulous. You mean I'm a god? No, not yet. You're a fetus. You're still growing. Once you've lived every human life throughout all time, you will have grown enough to be born. So the whole universe, it's just an egg, I answered. Now it's time for you to move on to your next life. And I sent you on your way. That is The Egg by Andy Weir. And this is Dylan with Life.
I used to think if I couldn't find hope, I should just let it all go. I used to think if I couldn't make dreams come true, I should just let them all go. When life seems impossible, look from every angle, change just one little thing. When life feels intolerable, find your true source of love. Concentrate, focus on love. Center now, focus on love.
Well, happy friggin' Easter, everyone. That was a long intro, but I love that. I found that when Stumble Upon was a thing years ago. I was probably 18. It's always stuck with me. I remember the first time I read it, I got chills. It doesn't hit as hard now, probably because I've read it, but still something I think about every now and then. Easter. This is a weird one. One you'll remember or not remember. Either way, here we are. I think it might have been the first episode of the podcast. I mentioned that I don't know when Easter is. And to be frank with you, that hasn't changed. It was earlier this week. My girlfriend was like, hey, want to come over for Easter dinner? Or lunch? Dinner, it turned out to be. But in my head, I was like, what the fuck? It's Easter? It always sneaks up on me. I only really know that it's Easter because I start seeing mini eggs everywhere, which means that I start eating too many goddamn mini eggs. They're like crack, I swear. Pretty sure that's what it is. It's chocolate and a crack candy coating. But it's the apocalypse, so Eat as many candy eggs as you want. No one can blame you. We're all dealing with it. Whew. Man, if you made it through the last 2 quarantine episodes and are still here, I applaud you. I hope that those provided some comic relief. Hope it gave you something. Honestly, I'm still having a good time. It gets tough being cooped up, and this obviously is only my experience, and I get that it's somewhat selfish, and I'm not happy that this is going on, but I'm going to enjoy it for what it is for me while I can. Work and life, really, I just find it so stressful. Being out there, socializing, working, just living is exhausting. It's nice to be able to take a step back. I've never in my life been able to not work or go to school without being hurt or sick for more than 10 days. So it's a little staycation for me. My house is clean. I'm cooking lots. I feel healthier. I feel I'm doing the opposite of most people, but I'm drinking way less. I guess working at a brewery, it's easy to drink frequently. I'm friggin' doing yoga every now and then. Shout out Oxygen Yoga. Go to their website. They've got a free sign up. All you need is an email. And they've got a few hour-long sessions on there. A deep stretch, a flow. Some other ones that I think are a little more intense. Pilates type. Jumping around. Mountain climber things, maybe. I don't know. I've only been doing the stretch and flow. Because honestly, those are hard enough. Maybe in a different way. I imagine the other ones are you get sweat and you get going, but to hold some of these stretches for that long and just to keep up, it's good. It's nice. I've been wanting to do yoga for a while, but just don't have whatever I need in me to go try new things that I don't really know, especially alone and in a group setting. So being able to fuck around at home is great. A nice way to ease into it. I can see myself maybe going to actual classes after this whole thing's done. So shout them out again. That's Oxygen Yoga. Google them, sign up, try a class, see how it goes. You don't have to commit to the whole hour. Just press play and try to follow along and see what happens. It's a great physical and mental, really, time, and exactly what I feel a lot of people probably need right now. And honestly, after doing it, I got to thinking that yoga should be taught in school, in high school at least. If you could take it instead of PE or just as an elective, imagine how much that would help kids. An hour of meditative stretching and breathing exercise, people would be much more damn peaceful. At least make it part of the PE curriculum. You know how you used to go through a couple of weeks of this sort of thing? Do a couple weeks just doing yoga sessions. Couple of classes a week, break up those days. I think kids would love it. I think it's a great idea. I'm going to reach out to my local school district, let them know. Living in Vancouver, I'm surprised it's not already a thing. It probably is already a thing here. But yeah, it's free. And free shit. It's nice, And it's not that hard. For it to be available in certain capacities. There's a lot of things that don't have to be as goddamn expensive as they are. At least every now and then. I get that people train for yoga and they're putting in work and they deserve some type of pay from it. They're providing a service and should get something back, but fuck capitalism is all I'm trying to say. When else during our lives stuck in this capitalistic society are we going to be able to not work for an extended period of time, focus on things at home and passions, some passions at least, obviously. It's got to be things that you can do from home, but still make ends meet. And I know that's not the case for everybody. Again, this is my situation, and I do feel for those that are having a harder time, and there's a lot of stress coming from this and a lot of unknowns, but I'm in no real rush to get back to working every day and being drained and stressed all the time. I saw the movie Platform on Netflix. Don't know if anybody's seen that. It's a new one. Spanish, I believe. The movie was interesting, I'll say for sure. Definitely interesting. I would recommend it. I do feel that it felt unfinished. There were some things that never really got explained, obviously, which is something from there. But I liked it, and maybe spoilers ahead, I don't know. The reason I was thinking about that is it's definitely a metaphor for capitalism and social classes. The premise of it is there's a bunch of floors in a vertical way, and there's a large platform of food that goes straight down the middle of all these. This platform comes down, stops on the first level, first floor, and there's 2 inmates, and they get to eat whatever they want. They got a certain amount of time, and then the floor moves down, or the platform moves down to floor 2, and then it's those inmates' turn, and they get to eat what they want. It goes down, goes down, goes down, and you imagine as it keeps going down and people are eating, shit happens. And so it's the way that I'm seeing it is definitely the top of the food chain, the 1%. They eat good and they take too much, more than they need, with no care for who's below them, whether it's the level right below or all the levels below. They just don't care. And then there are those levels below that are consistently left to fight over the scraps. And the lower you get with social classes, and in this, the uglier it gets, and the more dire things get, and the different things people are forced to do because you gotta live. And I don't want to give too much, but the floors, the people and the floors they're on do move around. So even when you finally get to the top, having been in the bottom or lower class before, people wouldn't give a fuck about you. So you're already jaded and in turn choose not to give a fuck about the people now below you, which was you at one point. You see that when a lot of people come up quick in the real world and they forget where they came from and don't give back. This is a spoiler for the ending, so hit that. You can skip ahead maybe 15 seconds for something if you don't want to hear it, or go watch the movie and come back. But the way I see it with the little girl being sent up at the end is saying that it may be too late for adults of this time, no matter where they stood and what they were trying to accomplish. They won't be able to reap those fruits. But if we focus now on the youth and show them the right way, they can be the ones to change the system. And they're always sort of left at the bottom because they're not in control of anything. So whatever we do for them, they'll take forward and do for the rest because they haven't been jaded yet. So I like the movie. I had to think about it and sit back because when it ends, it's sort of like, okay. It's not perfect, but it is good. I think it's interesting. So the platform, Netflix, give it a go. Tell me what you think. I got a confession. I kind of like video chats. I never did before. It wasn't my thing. I've always been, not so much anymore, but I used to always love the group chats. I know a lot of people don't like group chats because it's just constant annoyance. But for me, it's nice to have that constant flow of conversation or something to dip into. Yeah, I guess that's changed. They just got added into one and it's a lot. But video chats, man, group video chats, even the one-on-ones I don't mind. Obviously this has been happening with the quarantine going on, trying to see friends, keep in touch. But yeah, me and 5 friends, our little group, we got on there one night, couple hours just shooting the shit. Takes away a lot of the regular social pressures. Be in your home, you can be relaxed. don't have to have pants on, no one can see. And it's harder, like, it's really got to be like a one person has the mic at a time. So if you don't want to converse, you don't have to. You can sit back. And when you do, people actually listen, because it's like everybody has to shut up, or it's just people talking over each other. So it's a nicer way to do it, you know? And you can just dip out and be like, oh, sorry, everybody, my phone died. And then go back to eating mini eggs. Oh, I received an email from a guy named Ali, and all it said was hey or hello. Just one word. I think it said hey. And I didn't reply because I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. And I wasn't even sure if he was a real person or if it was some weird spam email. But Ali, if that was real, hello. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Email me an actual question or a little bit more than that, and I will reply. Something you should do while in quarantine if you're looking to fill your time. Something I did. Something I want to do again too is message a friend and swap what you're listening to. So you each give each other an album to listen to, and you got to listen to it front to back. And you know you'll possibly find a new artist or some new music or gain more appreciation for an album or artist you skimmed over before, or just grow a connection with a friend if they recommend something you love, or lose a friend if they recommend a trash album. But no, at least you'll have that. Like, you'll gain a deeper understanding of maybe who they are, if it's something that obviously they like or really like. And you'll get to see what they listen to. And I found there's albums that I like, there's albums that I really like. I just don't go to them often because there's so much music to listen to. And so even if it's an album like that, you just get to sit down with it out of your control. And I think it means a little bit more. It's easier to enjoy something for what it is when you're not in control of putting it on, which is something that a lot of us have now. Everybody's got, music on demand, so you listen to what you want to listen to. I get excited for weird random songs on the radio if I'm ever listening to the radio, just because you're not in control. And so when something does come on, you're like, fuck yeah. Yeah, by Usher and Luda and Lil Jon, Yeah. I'm never putting that on. I should be. But if that were to come on the radio, I'd lose my marbles. Spill them all over the floor. It'd be crazy. Oh, yeah. Doot, 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 doot. Doot, 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 doot. Doot, 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 doot. Doot, 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 doot. Oh. How did I fucking... Doesn't matter. I found out that a Bandicoot is a real animal. Don't fucking lie. Don't lie. Don't fucking lie and say that you knew that. But Crash Bandicoot ain't just a slick name. It's a friggin' animal. A Bandicoot. I don't even know. It's like a mousy type thing with a snout. Looks like it can move its snout in a circle, probably. But yeah, Crash Bandicoot is a real animal. And that blew my mind, because I've gone the past 20 years believing that Crash Bandicoot was just his name. And it's probably, I don't know, I was a kid when I was playing those games. So even if they did explain it, I wasn't picking up what they were putting down. And then on the topic of animals, I saw something special. And you're going to need to keep your Google machine on hand for this, because it is like a moose got bent over by Dracula. And so with that image in your head, Google a Hammerhead Bat and tell me that is not the love child of Dracula and a moose. That's animals you should know. Hammerhead Bat. I'm going to try to introduce you to a new and strange animal somewhat frequently. I'm not going to commit to it being in every episode thing because we all know how that goes, but you get 2 for the price of 1 today. A Bandicoot is a real thing. Take that information and go blow people's minds. And a Hammerhead Bat. There's just a flying moose out there. I went for a bike ride the other day. Don't judge me, first of all. I'm allowed. It's not illegal. I social distance, I did my thing. Didn't go with anybody. 2 meters apart. Wasn't licking handles or rails or doorknobs or anything. I biked from my house down to the seawall, and as I was going through the beach area, there was this Asian man, probably somewhere between the ages of 43 and 51, and he was just squaring up the sun. I thought he was gonna do some Tai Chi, but nah, he was just squaring up, looking dead at the sun. And the whole time he was in my vision, a good 20 seconds at least. And that whole time, he didn't break his stare down with the freaking sun. And honestly, by the end of it, he had me convinced. If that fight got made, I know he'd be a big underdog, but I'd put my money on him because he'd have a chance. And he knew something that we don't know about the sun, that's for sure. Either the sun just like slapped his mama, or he just found out that the sun's into like some freaky shit that it could get in trouble for. But he was ready to go. He might have gone him. I should have got off my bike and stopped and watched because it didn't look like either of them were backing down. Although the sun was setting. So, I mean, he probably won. He could have easily gone another 2 hours, I'm sure. And sun set in like 45 minutes, so yeah, I should have watched. Speaking of things I should have watched, I'm gonna have to watch Tiger King, aren't I? I don't wanna. And I don't know exactly why I don't want to. I think it's because it's so big or so popular right now and being pushed everywhere. It seems like a waste of time. And I know it's interesting and blah, blah, blah. It's not about the tigers, it's about the people and blah, 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 blah. I'd rather just watch tigers, though. I don't care about fucking weird American people doing crazy shit. I just think I don't like, the hipster in me that's like, nah, too big, not about it. I'm too cool for that. But it's everywhere. And I've read lots of headlines and things about it. About that bitch Carol Baskins. But apparently she doesn't deserve all the hate she's getting. Like I'm talking about it and I haven't even seen it. But I'm on her side. I don't even know. Would she kill her husband or something? That happens, man. I'd kill a husband, probably, at some point. If he deserved it, at least. Which I'm sure most husbands do. That's my goal in life. Just be a husband who doesn't deserve to get murdered. What is it in humans, in people, that we're so attracted to stories of murder? You know, and I feel it skews female more so. A lot, probably. A lot. I don't know many guys that are like watching the first 48, but my mom, my aunts, girlfriends in the past have always been interested in murder shit. Why is that? I've had this thought, and this will definitely get me put on some sort of list, but probably an important thought. It's probably something to think about. It's probably something that should be studied or something. But I've got to believe that killing a human has got to be the rawest or most intense feelings and things that a human can do in life. You know? Nobody's going to be able to just kill a human and be the same person. Nobody. Not even psychopaths. They change and they fucking do it again and want to do it again, but they change. I don't care. I think it's got to be like the single most life mind altering thing that you can do. Except maybe going to space. I think going into space probably gives you some type of perspective that just changes your brain. But like if you're a hunter, I couldn't even kill a fucking squirrel, so I'm not about to kill a person, but I feel if you're a hunter, there's people that can probably do that and still be the same person, especially if you're raised or brought up to hunt. And that's normal from when you're a kid. Nobody's raised and brought up to kill people. But it happens so often. People kill people all the time. I don't think I could do it. I think that would haunt me every day. Even if it was justified, even if an intruder came in my house, had Belle by the neck and was going to strangle her, and I just, papa, just the old 1-2, old death touch. Even then, just the feeling of knowing that you killed somebody, you ended somebody's life, I think that'd be intense. I think it'd be intense. So don't kill people. Oh, I was going to end this, but recommendation. Did I ever recommend Billy Raffoul? Probably. I don't think so. Recommendation this episode then is a short 6-track EP by Billy Raffoul, I believe is how you would pronounce his last name. The EP is called 1975. It is fairly new, came out last year, 2 years ago, and I have had it on repeat since I first heard track 1, which is called Acoustic. I've found a lot of one-off songs lately, and even though I always go and check out the album and artist, it's rare that the other songs stick. And that's okay, but with our boy Billy here, holy, I fell in love with every song on the album. So start with Acoustic, at least listen to that, and then if you like that, go through the other 5 songs. He put out a few other singles and another short album, I think. So if you like those, give those a listen too. Shout out Dat Boy, always down to try to prop up Canadian artists, Canadian people doing good things. Oh, I put out a question onto a podcasting group asking for questions for me to read on the podcast, ask on the podcast. And one of those questions came from Bobby from the BS with Bobby and Sarah podcast. And that question was, of the 3 following countries to recently change their names, which would you rather visit? Czechia, North Macedonia, or Eswatini? And why, was the question. I didn't even know that any of those changed their names, so thank you for spreading that knowledge. Czechia, I correctly assumed, was just the Czech Republic. I think Czechia sounds a lot cooler. North Macedonia, I'm not even sure what or where North Macedonia is. But I thought Macedonia was already a place. So maybe they just added the north. And if they added the north, good for them. I find that the north of places always seems more intriguing. North Dakota, South Dakota, I'd rather go to north. North Carolina, South Carolina, I think I'd rather go to north. North Korea, South Korea? North Korea is definitely more intriguing. I mean, I'm from Canada, the Great White North, so North Macedonia, if you just added a north, which I think is what happened, I think it's a clever play. I think you should get a good boost there. We the North. And then that third one, Eswatini, changing their name. And the E, it starts with an E. The E is lowercase. And then the second letter, the S, is a capital letter, which is also good marketing as far as piquing my interest. To be honest, out of those three, probably Eswatini that I would rather visit. I think that I would think it would be the most different. It would be the greatest adventure. Never been to Africa. I've never left North America, so all three of these places check those boxes, but Africa seems like a beautiful place, somewhere that I'd like to see. And Eswatini's got to be the only country who's got that first letter lowercase, second letter uppercase. That's a great name change. And that's what we're talking about here, is the three with name changes. Which am I more likely to visit? If we're going based off the name changes, they win right there. North Macedonia second, Czechia third, just because I feel like it's not a big change. Seems unnecessary. If anybody has any questions, any stories, anything they want to share, email them, dylanwithlifepod@gmail.com. Reach out on Twitter or Instagram. Have a great time. Stop imagining the apocalypse and start imagining the revolution. These lives are ours. Don't waste them.
You can have it all if you learn what all is. You can make your
Okay, bye.